Good morning. Rasa theory, its origin and Natya Shastra. So today we are going to discuss about Rasa theory, which is a primal concept when you approach Indian aesthetics. So what do you mean by aesthetics? Simply, you can say that aesthetics is the study of beauty. It refers to a branch of philosophy that deals with beauty, art, and principles underlying artistic appreciation. So let me ask you, how are you going to perceive beauty, something beautiful, through your senses, right? Through your senses. So you are exploring beauty through perception, or there are, you see, in broader sense, you can see aesthetics encompasses study of sensory experience, not only visual, auditory, but also tactile, olfactory, and gustatory perceptions. So perceptions gives you some kind of rasa, right? So it seeks to understand role of aesthetics in shaping human culture. So what do you mean by rasa? It can be traced back to the origin of Rasa theory, can be traced back to Natya Shastra, an ancient text attributed to Bharata Muni, who believed to have been composed between 2nd century. So, Natya Shastra is one of the comprehensive treatises on performing arts, including drama, dance, and music. So, you can see in the sixth chapter of Natya Shastra, Bharata Muni provides an in depth concept of rasa. And this chapter also contains famous Rasa Sutra. What do you mean by rasa? Rasa is derived from a purely culinary term. Rasa is a culinary term with respect to Indian context. That means something that gives you something that pleases your um, something that relishes you. So it can be also described as an aesthetic relish. So when you taste a certain amount of quality food, you will feel some kind of a rasa, right? A kind of relishment, right? So exactly, when you perceive something beautiful, you will feel this kind of artist aesthetic relish. So it is a essence of emotional experience, if you want to say. When you witness a work of art, you will feel some kind of aesthetic pleasure, right? Which is actually the essence of your emotional experience. So rasa theory emphasizes that entertainment is has got every kind of entertainment has got a desired effect in the perceiver. So Natya Shastra is one of the earliest treatises, I have told you. Now, Natya Shastra of Bharata Muni outlines fundamental principles of dramatic art and delineates the elements necessary for a successful theatrical performances. So, central to Natya Shastra, Bharata Muni's Natya Shastra, is the concept of rasa, which Bharata describes as an ultimate goal of all artistic endeavors. And Bharata Muni elucidates that primary purpose of any drama is to evoke rasa or aesthetic emotions, and he identifies eight rasas. Which are the eight rasas? Mm. Eight rasas were rasa of love. When you perceive some romantic scene on stage, you will get this rasa of shrinkara or love. When you see some comic comedy in the stage, you will the kind of rasa that has got intensified within you is hasya or humor. When you see some pathetic situation on the stage, if deep within you karuna rasa or rasa of compassion, emotional essence of compassion arouses, right? And when you see some kind of social commotions, and you will be getting disturbed, and what happened, anger or raudra bhava, raudra rasa arrives in within you. And another thing is courage, rasa of courage or veera rasa. Then bhayanaka rasa or rasa of fear. When you see something disgusting seen on the stage, what kind of emotion you are getting, that is called bibhatsa rasa. And also there is an emotion of wonder known as adbhuta rasa. And ninth rasa, actually there are nine rasas, nava rasas. Nava means nine in Sanskrit. So ninth rasa is the rasa of peace or tranquility, which is called as shanta rasa. So these are all the nine rasas as conceptualized by Bharata Muni in his Natya Shastra. So Bharata Muni also introduces the concept of bhavas. Bhava means emotional states. When a perceiver perceives something, kind of a perceiver deep in the mind, some kind of emotions, some kind of emotional states. And a good work of art can make your mind reach or touch some kind of emotional states or levels. So exactly that is what is known as bhavas, which is considered as the crucial fundamental blocks of a rasa. So these bhavas were again classified as permanent emotions and also transitory emotions. These permanent emotions were told as sthayi bhavas, and these transitory emotions were termed as vyabhichari bhavas. And both these emotions, whether it be permanent or transitory, these emotions has got their own effect, their own role in eliciting these rasas, nine rasas. So you'll be confused. What is Thai bhava or permanent emotions, right? So let me explain. So according to Bharata, there are other emotions also in bhava other than sthai bhava and vyabhichari bhava. Sthai bhava can be translated into stable emotion. Everyone will be having some kind of stable emotions, right, or a durable psychological state. What are the other aesthetic emotions in the drama? Vibhavas, anubhavas, and vyabhichari bhavas, and which combine together and enhance this sthai bhava, which ultimately intensifies to become flavor or rasa or essence of the play. So there are eight primary sthai bhavas that each corresponding to specific rasa. So the sthai bhava gets intensified itself into corresponding rasas. First one is rati. Rati means love, which corresponds to shrinkara or erotic rasa. Hasa means mirth, which corresponds to hasya or comedic rasa. Krodha or anger, which corresponds to raudra or terrible rasa. Utsaha or courage corresponds to veera or heroic rasa. Bhaya or fear corresponds to bhayanaka or horrific rasa. Jugupsa or aversion corresponds to bibhatsa or odious rasa, disgust, rasa of disgust. Now, vismaya or wonder corresponds to adbhuta or marvelous rasa. And shoga or sorrow corresponds to karuna or pathetic rasa. Now, poets have also added sama or kind of nirveda or disenchantment as ninth sthai bhava, which corresponds to shanta rasa. So, uh, which are the sthai bhavas mentioned here? Rati, hasa, krodha, utsaha, bhaya, jugupsa, vismaya, shoga or sama, or love, mirth, anger, courage, fear, aversion, vismaya or wonders and sorrow, and also um, tranquility, respectively. That means when love intensifies itself, love is the bhava, which intensify itself to evoke erotic rasa. Mirth intensify itself within the audience, and it creates comedic rasa. Anger intensifies to terrible rasa. Now courage intensifies into heroic rasa. Fear intensifies into horrific rasa. Aversion intensifies into odious rasa. Wonder intensifies into marvelous rasa. Sorrow intensifies into pathetic rasa, and this enchantment got intensify itself into shantarasa or rasa of tranquility. Now, next is vyabhichari bhava, which is also known as sanchari bhava, which represents the transitory emotions or a kind of fleeting mental states. That means which these bhavas, these emotions appear and disappear rapidly. So these emotions serves to strengthen the permanent emotions. So sthai bhava in a performance. So, which are the Vibhijari bhavas? Aveka or agitation, Dainya or misery, drama or fatigue, Madha or intoxication, Vabodha or awakening, Garva, pride, Nidra, sleep, Shanka, apprehension, Harsha, joy, and so on. So, hope Sthai bhavas and Vibhijari bhavas are clear for you. Now, Bharata Muni also outlines the importance of other elements such as vibhavas and anubhavas. Sanchari bhava here stands for vibhijari bhava itself, which are considered as secondary emotions. So here vibhava is the stimulus or cause, and anubhava is considered as the consequent reactions. So next we can move on to vibhava and anubhava. So vibhava. Vibhava means stimulus or knowledge according to Sanskrit aesthetics. So it is very essential in the creation of rasa during a performance. So they are the causes of emotions. There will be some causes which leads to the evocation of particular emotional states in the audience. There are two types of vibhavas, alambhana vibhava and uddipana vibhava. So alambhana vibhava refers to the evoking of emotions by an object or an action. Say for example, uh, when Sita saw Ravan, some kind of emotions has got. She has reached into some kind of emotional state, right? When the same Sita saw Rama, her emotional states was something different, something very pleasing, right? So, by with the perception of some person or some object, that very perception itself become cause for the evocation of certain kind of emotion within the mind, right? So alambana vibhava means evoking of an emotion by an object or person's action. Now uddipana vibhava, what do you mean by uddipana vibhava? Uddipana represents some aesthetic feelings that arouse emotional pleasure. Now vibhava is further categorized into guna, alankara, cheshta, and tatasha. Now, anubhava. At the same time, anubhava are the consequences of reactions. Anubhava refers to the sentiments or felt by a person as a result of vibhavas. As a result of vibhavas. So these are emotions are natural and immediate reactions. So it represents facial expressions, movement of eyebrows, and physical gestures. There are certain varieties or of anubhavas. First one, chittaja bhava. That means it represents mental conditions like courage, disapproval, enlightenment, and so on. Now, getraja anubhava. That means that is expressed through gestures, certain gestures, feelings of love, affection, and all. Now, buddhyarambha anubhava. That means that is something related to your wit or intelligence that express mental reactions related to some kind of intellectual processes. So these are all about vibhavas and anubhavas, which accompanies primary and secondary emotions. Primary emotions means permanent emotion or sthayi bhava, and secondary emotions are vyabhichari bhava or transitory emotions or sanchari bhava. Both these are accompanied by vibhava or stimulus of cause and anubhava or their consequent reactions. Thank you. Thank you so much.